We have a MacBook Air, and it's a Wi-Fi issue. I'm not going to put into desktop because that's going to be a waste of time. So what I'm going to do is I will try to put into the boot option menu and see if we get the Wi-Fi option there. Okay. So yeah, we don't have no Wi-Fi option here. So this is an easy way to check for your Wi-Fi connectivity instead of having to put into desktop, because that would be a whole waste of time. So the back cover is already taken out. We're just going to quickly take the battery out and take the board out as well. And then, by the way, so the antenna cables, as you guys can see, the antenna cables are connected. However, even if the antenna cables were not connected, you will still have some bars, provided you are closer to the network. You will still have some bars available, but in this case, it's completely zero, which is indicative that we have an issue with the Wi-Fi circuitry. So we are going to just quickly head over to the Wi-Fi circuitry, which is on the other side of the board, and then yeah, and see what the issue is and address it. Typically, Wi-Fi repairs, it's a quick type of repair, because the issue is very direct. I mean, you don't have Wi-Fi, you go straight to Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi circuitry, and then find out what the issue is. Uh, Oftentimes, what will happen is you will find a bit of a corrosion on that side of the board, on that section of the board, and and sometimes you do have an issue with the enable signal, which is supposed to come from the SMC. Sometimes that's an issue. Uh, but on this one, we're not sure what the issue is going to be, so we want to take the board out and yeah, find out exactly what it is that we're dealing with. Okay, the board is out. Okay, now we want to see on the other side. Oh, by the way, this is a 2015 board, and we can tell because of the camera processor. So let us go to the board view. This is an 820-00165. There you go. And so the Wi-Fi, it's going to be there you go. So that which is a PPT. So if we go to the Wi-Fi connector, the Wi-Fi CAD connector, if we click on that, we will see the voltages and the signals that are required for the CAD to function. So at the top of the list of that, it's the power that goes to the power that goes to your Wi-Fi card, and that is pp3v3 underscore WLA LAN, which is a WLA LAN. So that's the first thing we will be checking to see that we have voltage, which is a 3 volt line going to our J3501. So if we click on pin 1, say the voltage is going to be present on the other side of the board. Let's come here and see what it is. So before we do that, let's give the boss a quick dust off the board, and also do a bit of a visual inspection to see if anything stands out. Okay, so I think we see what the issue is. So the Wi-Fi, this is the chip that I clicked on before, which is U3540. Let me open up the schematic, and then we get to know what that chip does. 00165, where are you? 00165, do you see it? Oh, okay. Okay, so that's that chip. What's the name of okay, U3540. Let's go to U3540. Now we see that it says, okay, here we are at the page of the wireless connector. See where it says wireless connector, and that chip there, it's now this is the chip, and what obviously it's going to play a critical role. And J3501, it's going to be the connector for your Wi-Fi. It says where it says airport, and then some of the signals that will come from U3540 will be AP access point reset con L, which is a reset signal that will come from U3540 of the signal that and U3540 will play a very critical role in enabling that our Wi-Fi works. So if we go to, and then now coming back to the section of our board, so this is a chip for the Wi-Fi. There are two things that stands out. We have this here, and then we also have that. So there's a chance that this is actually creating that is actually creating a barrier. So what that will mean is so let's come here. That track point, which is this one here, that is supposed to be where you have AP underscore clock request L underscore to through R3556 to pin 8 of U3540, and also here we also have the 3 volt here, and then the 3 volt PP3V3 underscore WLAN. We also have that this resistor also look a little bit suspicious. So what we want to do, the first thing we want to do now is we want to see if we still have continuation between pin 1 and pin 8. So in order for us to do that, we are going to remove U3540. So we're also going to replace R3553 because it doesn't really look good. Okay, the trackpad, that point is definitely missing. So if we let's so communication is definitely broken between those two, which is R3556 and so let's say pin 1 and pin 8. Let's see, do we have communication there? And we don't. So there's no communication between pin 1 and pin 8. So that needs to be, so the way we will address that, let's see, we'll have to put a solder between. I should address it. And also I need to be careful. There is a ground pad next to it. So that is a ground pad. I need to be careful so that I do not bridge it. Another thing we can also do is we can put a tiny wire between, or we put a solder block, whichever. Let's put back the other resistor that we took off. Okay, and then after we install the chip, we will have to now put a solder in between. First, we'll be replacing the resistor. And we're going to reuse the chip because the chip itself is not faulty, so we're going to reuse it, being aware of the orientation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a small solder in between the chip and the resistor. So this, I'm going to put that in between them. Just like that. Yeah, just like that. And also, yeah, that's yeah, that should do it. That should do the magic. I don't know. Okay, just press down on the chip to be sure that you have proper connection. Okay, so the next thing we want to confirm is that we don't have a short on that line, because close to that line is a ground pad. So I'm going to make sure that I don't have a short before we connect power to it. So we have our meter set to continuity mode, black probe to ground, and then a red probe. Let's see, do we have a short on that line? Okay, we don't have a short. So the next thing we want to do is we want to Let's now test to see if we have a different result. After we finish testing, if it works, then we clean off the board. If it doesn't, I mean, so we are going to hold off cleaning the board until we confirm that that solves the problem. For this testing, we are only going to connect what we need for the testing. So we're not going to have all cables connected. So I'm going to do two tests. So the first test I'm going to do is I'm going to test it without the antenna cables connected. And then I will test it with the antenna cables connected. So like I said, you don't need antenna cables to have to have it to get the at least the bare minimum bars. You don't need antenna cable for that. Still waiting. Okay, so let's see if we have anything different now. Yeah, so you guys can see now we have options for Wi-Fi. So now, I mean, like I said, you do not need the antenna cables, but obviously you need antenna cables for you to have a stronger signal. But in terms of having to, provided you're close to a particular network, so that should it should pick that up. So as you guys can see, that actually solves our problem. And that's it. So what we're now going to do is I'm going to clean off the board, and then this will then go into the next phase, which is it gets assembled, and then the final test is done, and then that's it. That's it. So guys, thank you so much. You saw how we basically narrowed down what the issue is. So the first thing you want to do basically is when you have an issue is to define. First, you need to have an issue that you need to solve. The next thing is for you to be able to pinpoint where that issue is coming from. Like I said, when it comes to Wi-Fi network related issues, it's very kind of already narrowed down. You just have to go straight to. So and also and then another thing is sometimes you start your troubleshooting by having to replace by having to replace the card. However, 9 out of 10 you find that the card is not a problem. And in this particular case, this is this is a machine that is coming from a dealer. But then, although I do not expect that they have already tested the card, but I mean, I didn't have any reason to believe that the card would be the problem. That was why we had to. So if all of the voltage is required and the signals required, the board had checked out, and we still do not have Wi-Fi function, then I may now have to consider having to replace the card. But generally, I tend to just go straight to the section of the Wi-Fi circuitry and then see what is wrong. Thank you guys. I will see you guys in the next one.